Previously on Mike Talks About.
Hell, I've got nothing more to say, and I need to restore the colour of the... Fuck? Why'd the lights... Ah! What the hell? Why am I back in my room? More importantly, what day is it today? Oh, it's October 29th. Okay. It's October 29th. It's October 29th! Shit! Gotta get to London! Oy. That was an exhausting day. Maybe I'll go sleep for a while and pray the video makes itself. It's probably not going to happen. Not in a million years. Ah! Oh. What the hell? Oh, why am I... Alright. What day is it? It's February 2024. Oh. It's February 2024? Oh, Jesus, how long was I out for? That explains the shirt change. The Comic-Con video was made, right? Oh, phew. Oh, thank God it was. I should go see what's going on in the other room. What?
Hello?
Ah! Jesus, don't scare me like that!
I'm the strange tiger. Plink, plonk, plink, plonk, and I've come to tell you something important, young noodle wench.
What did you just call me?
You have neglected your duties as a video maker for quite some time now.
Yeah. Tell me something I don't already know.
The world needs to know that you are still around making videos for the general populace.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, there wasn't much I could do after being stabbed in the dark by a giant spider.
Therefore, you must talk about something in a video. How about the sequel to Limbo, known as Inside?
Wait, Inside? God damn it, I don't even have that game!
Yes, you do. You have the icon highlighted on your Switch right now.
Alright, look. I can talk about Inside, but I'm just saying, there are so so many other things I can talk about.
Plink, plonk, plink, plonk, plink.
Are you even listening to me?
Plink, plonk, plink, plonk, plink, plonk.
Oh, fuck this!
Plink.
Well, looks like I'm talking about Inside.
So Limbo was a success story, wasn't it? Upon its release all the way back in 2010, it managed to accrue over 1 million copies in sales, a positive reception, and awards all around from the likes of the Independent Games Festival and the Spike VGA Awards. So naturally, it made perfect sense for Playdead, the game's developer, to get to work on another game post-haste. And guess what? Inside's development began shortly after Limbo was finished. Initially developed under the working title Project 2, Playdead wanted to ensure the game was similar to their previous outing. This meant that the gameplay would once again be a 2.5D side-scrolling puzzle platformer, and it would also be just as positive and full of energy as the world of Limbo. Which is to say, sweet fucking dreams! One notable difference in the game's development, however, was the engine the game would run on. Limbo ran on its own proprietary engine, which I assume gave them some headaches in development, but this time they went with Unity. Yes, alright, we all remember what happened last year, which they decided to use in order to reduce the amount of workload needed to make the game. They also wanted to create their own custom rendering tools within Unity, which allowed them to create some beautifully stylish visuals of their own. This rendering tool was released into the realms of open source in March 2016. There were some key players from Limbo who came back to work on Inside. This included director Arndt Jensen, producer Mads Widrobe, who produced Limbo alongside Dino Patti, and composer Martin Stig Andersen, although this time he was joined by Sus Gunvar Ryberg to help compose Inside's eerie, melancholic score. In addition, the Danish Film Institute also returned to provide funding for the game. You wanna know who didn't return, though? Xbox Game Studios. Kinda. See, Playdead went to have a little meeting with Xbox big boss Phil Spencer, where he asked them if they could make Inside an Xbox exclusive, much like Limbo was at the time of its launch. Playdead looked at him intensely, before saying, "Balls to that! We're gonna publish it ourselves!" Although if this really happened, then I hope Playdead apologized to Microsoft by the time E3 2014 rolled around, since it was during their press conference that year when the game was announced. While the game was initially set for a 2015 release, it wound up being delayed into 2016. Of course, Xbox One got it first on June 29th, followed by a PC port on July 7th, then a PlayStation 4 port on August 23rd. Later, an iOS port would release on December 15th, 2017, and a Nintendo Switch port would drop on June 28th, 2018, alongside a Switch port of Limbo.
But the question remains, can Inside live up to the hype of Limbo? Let's play and find out, shall we?
We start the game in a rather peaceful-looking forest. A boy then falls down the cliffside.
Hang on a minute. This is awfully familiar. Isn't this like the opening to Limbo? You know, when the boy awoke in the forest.
Well, yeah, of course it is. One gets the feeling they did that deliberately. Wanna know what else is similar? The controls. You use the analog stick to move the boy, B to jump, and A to interact with objects.
Oh. So, these controls are so simple, I can play this with a NES controller.
The X and Y buttons are also used as well, but they do the same commands as the B and A buttons respectively. On top of that, you can't use the D-pad to move the boy, unlike Limbo.
Oh, son of a bitch! My joke is ruined!
I wouldn't let it get to you, buddy. Besides, remember how Limbo had all those different gameplay mechanics thrown in to make sure the game always kept you on your toes? Inside does the same thing, and in this instance, we get introduced to our first new mechanic, stealth. Though it really just consists of hiding behind cover and making sure nobody catches you, otherwise you die. And that's another similarity with Limbo. You will die. You will die a lot in this game. You have been forewarned. Anyway, we climb our way to the top of the path with the aid of a nearby block in a simplistic puzzle, what is ultimately this game's bread and butter. There'll be more of these puzzles as we move along, and of course, they get harder and harder. Soon we wade through the water, but then we hear... Crap! A dog! Fortunately, the boy manages to outrun the vicious terrier and jumps to safety. Yeah, take that, you fucking mutt! We then run through the forest, die, run some more, die again, run away from the patrol guards, then run away from...
Oh joy, another dog. And we'll be seeing more of them as our journey progresses. They get more annoying to deal with, trust me.
Anyway, we end up in a lake, where we have to swim our way to the next part. In fact, swimming is another new gameplay mechanic, since you do a lot of it throughout this game.
Insert 7.8 joke here.
Eventually, we reach the inside of a barn, where we're introduced to the first real puzzle of the game. It involves a generator that sucks up air, and a stack of hay on a plank of wood that we can't reach. I did struggle a little bit on this puzzle, as I was wandering around the place just to figure out what the hell I had to do. I mean, I had the generator turned on, but how was I going to reach the platform in order to push the stack of hay down? Well, with a little trial and error involving some cute little chicks, I managed to get it down to where I was. Alright, I made it out of the barn! Now I can jump to... Ugh, that's a bit smelly. I'm sure we can find somewhere to clean ourselves. Sweet mercy! This pig's gone shipshape! I better get out of here! Oh, I'm dead. Alright. Come on, you... Damn it. Listen. Stay still! Are you even... Fuck! It turned out the source of the pig's unruly attitude was some kind of... worm lodged inside its asshole. After pulling it out, we use the pig as a climbing block to reach the next brand new gameplay mechanic. Mind control. At certain points in the game, you jump into these head things to control these zombie-like people on the other side of the room to solve a puzzle or two. Here, we just get them to lift open the door, then press a button to open a door from nearby where the boy is.
Now, as I solved this puzzle, I got to thinking, the pig with the worm up its ass, the brainless people we're controlling. Are we in some kind of totalitarian government? I mean, why the mind control? Why are these people being experimented on? Are these people being experimented on? And if so, for what purpose? Hell, are these people able to think for themselves and free themselves from the controlling hands of the government? Like Limbo, inside story is there. It's never really explained to you in a clear-cut fashion. Rather, it decides to leave a lot of it open to interpretation, so that you're more immersed in the dark, twisted atmosphere of the world.
Oh, does all this matter right now? Because we managed to stick the landing with a flock off, you featherfaces! I climbed up a ladder to reach the top of the scaffolding, and I wondered for a brief moment what was down below. So, after I destroyed the planks with a safe to make a hole in the ground, I checked in order to satiate my curiosity, and... oh. I then fell down the hole and found this strange spherical thing. What is it? And what significance does it have? Oh hey look! Our boy's running across the rooftops! Look! He's running in a room, trying to avoid the spotlights in order to reach the lift! Hope he doesn't get... caught. Again, this was another puzzle that I had a little trouble solving, but I felt great once I managed to solve it. I even did a little victory dance. Woohoo! Soon we find a marching crowd.
Well, let's just hope you don't get spotlighted.
Ah, shit! Better make a run for it! Made it out in one piece. After solving a puzzle with some mindless people, we fall into the water and drown. After solving a puzzle with some mindless people, we fall into the water and pull a plank to cross to the other side. This led to a couple of rooms, each containing one button in them to control the levels of water. I found a plank in a nearby room to help me climb to safety, but then I was caught by a spotlight and strung up again.
Clearly, we adhere to the demands of don't escape pretty well.
Soon we end up in another area covered in water, where we are chased by... more dogs! If I stay in the water, maybe I can outsmart them. Okay, that worked. I guess now I can... Great! More of them! Pull the planks down and run to the next area, little one! We are now in a bay area, and an adult! Oh, thank God, an adult! Excuse me, sir, I've been chased by some vicious dogs, and I need to know where the hell I am! You're strangling me. Well, I guess if you're going to be like that to me, I'll wait till you and your friend go inside that little office of yours and steal your friend's submarine. That'll show 'em. The submarine actually has a cool little function within it. See, when you hold the B button, you build up a bit of power within the sub. Releasing the button allows the sub to expend its power by launching itself in the direction of where the light on the front of the sub is pointing at. This ability becomes useful when we find a crack in the wall, as we can use this ability to break the crack. Unfortunately, we can't use it to destroy this door that's in our way, so we have to find another way of opening it. So we exit the sub, climb up to the roof, press a button, dodge these barrels like it's Donkey Kong, climb back up to the roof, pull a launch box, and then press a button to open the door. Ah, on that point, yes, that launch box is actually a new gameplay mechanic. You pull the string on top of the box, then you wait for it to launch a certain height into the air. There are some puzzles later on in the game that actually uses these launch boxes in clever situations, and they are certainly inventive to say the least, if only because I admired the uniqueness surrounding the idea. But for now, we made it through the... Fuck was that thing? I shouldn't worry about it, I better move on. After a long puzzle where I manipulated the level of the water in a room, again...
Really starting to feel the repetitiousness of the puzzles here, lads.
We used the sub to jump through the opening and bust through the door. Oh shit, it's the bitch from the ring! This moment greatly sells the eeriness the game excels at. The tense sound effects with the minimalist music, the dark, murky atmosphere, the threatening presence of the monster, especially when it gets close and drowns you. You will feel on edge, and you will love it. Of course, Limbo did this as well with its giant fucking spider. Its commanding presence, large size, and the fact that it was completely in silhouette lent itself to the tenacious, tyrannical nature of the monster. And when it killed you, the sickening crunch you hear as you see the boy die is very oof, you know? In comparison, this is more muted, more somber, but no less scary despite the small size of the monster. Unlike the spider though, our stringy-haired friend is actually afraid of the light, and we can use it to our advantage as we navigate our way through this damp corridor. Okay, just gonna line ourselves up here, and... just like that, we got away from it. From the hole at the top of the room that we managed to bust our way through, we find ourselves at a lift that leads to the next puzzle. Why is there a huge sign with the number 19 on it? Well, that's because we have to gather multiple mindless people to the switch in order to reduce that number to 0. This requires us going to 4 different areas near this one. The first one has us loop around the place in order to attach a mind-controlling device onto our head in order for the people to follow me.
Oh, cool! I have some followers! Maybe I should get them to spread the word of follow me on X!
With these people following us, we can now get them to fling us up into the air to reach higher ground. Although it can be a bit finicky to do this, as the boy will jump off of them more times than the people actually throwing him upwards. In the second area, I got the people to move this massive minecart so I could get to the other side and free a few more people stuck in a cage. Okay, a few more to go. What the hell was that rumbling? In the next area, located right on the top floor, we freed a few prisoners in a similar fashion to how we dropped that safe earlier. Then I found a dead guy and dropped him onto the switch. Lastly, in the final area, we freed the remaining people trapped on a minecart. Alright, we made it at long last. find some cover. Did you get all that? This is actually one of the more interesting puzzles in the game, as it tests you on your rhythm and timing pretty well. Unless, of course, you die too much. This is especially apparent for me in this next part, as you have to try and climb the ladder and cross to the other side without the seismic blast decimating you. I even had flashbacks to that annoying block puzzle from Limbo enter my cerebellum as I struggled through this puzzle. You know, I tried it all, stopping the spinning shield at specific points with the nearby lever and then trying to cross before I died, or just trying to gun through the area before dying. God, I was so frustrated. Eventually, I stopped the shield and started it up again before climbing the ladder, and the moment the music changed was when I realized it worked.
I love it when that happens. It really makes me feel like I've accomplished something great.
One launch box to freedom later, and we navigate the next area with the aid of some panels and some well-timed jumps. This leads us to a long ride down the lift, where we reflect on the journey. What the hell? Not the sonic blasts again! Ah shit, we're going down! The cage is destroyed, and the boy drowns, ending his life in a blissful brutality.